So look in my game face. Ain't no stopping me. You know I'm coming in first place. Well, stop it till I get that ring. I'ma dominate all day. No matter who you bring, I will not lose.
Yeah.
I will not lose.
I will not lose.
Yo, what up? It's your boy JJ Stone, aka Black Gritty. Welcome to another episode of Gritty Nights. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're probably watching the World Series. And if you're not, you're here with us. You could just put the TV on like I do and have it muted and hang out with your boy. That's an option. Tell a friend to tell a friend. But if you're in here, it's because you care and we appreciate you. And for the first time in almost a year, I'm excited to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. We won last week, and I was at the game. It was my birthday week. I had a great full week, and I still really could care less about the team. But this week, you're going to get excitement. You're going to get joy. You're going to get happiness. And you are going to get a sponsor for the show. We have a sponsor for the show, Jason.
What?
Woo. Oh, yeah, we doing big time things now. And not only is it a sponsor, it's a sponsor that you, the viewer, can use, and you don't have to pay anything. You don't have to put in your email address. All you have to do is use this product and enjoy it. And it's sports related. I mean, when I say I brought you something useful to your life, I mean, I'll be lying a lot, but this time I'm telling the truth. I got you. I'm so excited. One, because, sponsors are good and you got to start somewhere. And that's ups. Jason. What's up, buddy?
We got a sponsor?
This
is big news to me. I'm really excited about that.
I didn't tell you because I had to cut you in.
Yeah, no,
so if I told you that I had to start paying you, but I'm not doing that yet. But we do.
No. I don't really do anything. Why would I get paid?
See, this is why we friends. This is why we friends. I said that you said.
Look at us in a good mood because the Eagles won. We're all friends today.
Bro, it's so embarrassing to have to feel this way.
Yeah.
Because it does dictate your mood. Like you're holding the doors open at the Wawa.
Yeah.
Everything's good. And it's so good. No Harry tonight, ladies.
Yeah,
so sorry, ladies. You know what I mean? Harry and the stash and the muscles, you know what I mean? He needed a week off. You know, he's partying out there living the dream. But I do have another young lion replacement, future nephew, my guy from the PHOY family. What's going on, man? I had VG on, I'm BG, and now I got JP. What's up, JP?
Yo, what's up, BG? How we feeling, man?
I'm doing good. I know you're staying up late for me, brother. I started the show an hour early. I appreciate you. Man. I appreciate you. Are you happy this week, JP?
Dude, well, first off, I'm always happy, but especially this week, right? Birds got a convincing dub yet again. Tyrese Maxey, listen, I'm sure we're gonna talk about Joel and Paul George, but listen, positives. Tyrese Maxey, he's starting off the season the way you want him to. So I'm definitely in a good mood, man.
Yeah, that's how we all feel. So we're gonna start off with the Birds.
Still,
I'm gonna give you first crack at it, JP. I specifically didn't listen to anything you had to say this morning because on PHOY.com I can go and check the pods and all the shows later, but we usually watch it live. But I did not check in because I didn't want to be influenced by your thoughts and opinions, sir. So tell me just how you felt about the game, just your general feelings about how the game made you feel.
It is steps in the right direction. Now, look, you got back-to-back games where they have dominant performances. Obviously, the other one against the Giants, really, you're not really going to put too much stock in that one, right? But the Bengals, look, there's some star players. They're obviously dealing with the injuries, which definitely sucks for them. But you go in there, you have the defense allows that first drive to Joe Burrow and company, and you're thinking to yourself, here we go again, right? But kudos to them. They strung together some good drives. Nick Sirianni with some interesting decisions again, some cockiness at the end of the first half. But Jalen Hurts and this Eagles offense have somewhat of an identity. Hopefully they keep up with this. But it's very simple, right? Like you run the ball, and you have the best running back in the game right now. This offensive line, even without Jordan Mailata, shouts to Fred Johnson, did his thing. They ran the ball extremely effectively, and you saw the deep ball, the Devontae Smith. So I think going forward, I think it's no brainer. That has to be the continued game plan. You got to continue keep the ball on the ground. Obviously, Jalen Hurts is always going to be a threat with the run. We obviously would like him to run a little bit less, but if you continue this running game and keeping that up, it's going to open up the pass. the linebackers and the safeties are going to keep coming up. You're going to be able to hit those balls down deep. And then on defense, it's all about the youth. You talked about it. You got the youth here today. It's all about the youth on defense, right?
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean, big tackles. Quinyon Mitchell is making wide receivers respect him. Nolan Smith actually looks like an NFL player. Nakobe Dean's flying around every single week. So you have to feel good about this Eagles team. Now, you look around the NFL, you only have to worry about this conference. And realistically, guys, the only legitimate contender or the legitimate powerhouse in this conference is the Detroit Lions. The Commanders, yes. Jane Daniels is having a great year, and he's freaking awesome. But you're going to tell me that Commanders team is unbeatable? So you have to feel good about this Eagles team, and hopefully they keep this up. This schedule gets very favorable going down the line. But they did some thanks to a lot of us here on Sunday.
Jason.
Hey, my favorite word, right? Identity. I think the Eagles might have found one. We've been searching for this big play offense all over. Jalen's forcing the ball to the outside, and all these games we're upset. We're all complaining, and now we're running the ball, and we're just beating teams up physically. And what happens? Like JP said, the safeties move up, and then we hit the big plays. But the key was, where were the big plays at? Over the middle, right? It wasn't to the outside, right? Devontae over the middle, catching touchdowns, big plays. The defense. That's 3 games in a row they've looked good. And this time against a real offense, a real NFL offense. We know the Browns offense wasn't good. We know the Giants offense stinks. But Joe Burrow, we heard all week going into the game how Joe Burrow was going to eat up this defense because good quarterbacks beat this type of defense. And we've all been complaining about Fangio. I'm one of the biggest ones that complained about Fangio early in the season. And he's turned it around quickly after the bye week. Cooper DeJean has made the big difference, right? He can tackle. Apparently, tackling out of the slot was the biggest part of this defense that they were missing. Who knew? Who knew, right?
Well, you've hated Maddox your whole entire life. I think you came out the womb like they're going to get this guy Maddox in the future, and I hate this man. So
no, he was good. He just, he makes a tackle and he's hurt.
Yeah,
right. Like
the best ability is availability.
He doesn't have that one.
No. So first of all, the Eagles are just in a really good place because I kept predicting, like, everybody's like, oh, stop the turnovers. They'll stop the turnovers when they play after the bye week. After the bye week, the turnovers will calm down because the schedule opens up and allows for it. Now, the Giants are trash pandas, but that's a divisional game. You look at what they did against the Steelers last night. Man, they put the fear of God in the Steelers last night, and the Steelers have been rolling and roll with Russ last week. That's why divisional games are always a toss-up. Yes, we blew them out, but there's also weird things where we could have lost the game. Now, not the way the game unfolded, but I'm just saying in thought process before the game even started. If the Giants would have won that game, you would have said, oh, it's a divisional game. This happens. I could see how that could go down. But we beat them handily. Then you go in and you beat the Bengals. The Bengals have beaten a couple of good teams. Now they're 3-3 also, and they played some of the same bad teams we played, but it's also about timing. Because if you got the Browns right now and you had to go against the WWW eater, you'd have a huge issue right now because they went out there and were balling, and that's after trading Cooper. So guess what? You play who's on your schedule at the time that they're scheduled for you to play them. And so I can't apologize for the Eagles getting right after an early bye week with injuries. We all hated the early bye week, but they needed it at that time to get their guys back out there on the field, and it worked out. Jalen Hurts was perfect. I'm going to channel my OG Wade. Jalen Hurts had a perfect game. I know in the stat line he was 16 for 20. Nah, he was 20 for 20. I know in the stat line, JP talking about run too much. He only had 25 yards as the tush push. He only takes up 2 and 3 at a time. And the 2 runs that they had, the line kept having penalties. There were 3 huge penalties where the offense would have literally looked perfect coming out of that first quarter where they still haven't scored a touchdown. And now today we don't care about that, but we still do care because it's still an issue. But Joe Burrow did that to them this week. It wasn't their issue. But you're like, man, they're doing what everyone's asked them to do. Could you throw over the middle? Can you be under center? And that's why even when I got to the point where I was like, I can't defend Jalen anymore with all the turnovers, I didn't bash him because Philadelphia is a hard place to play. And this man has stood up there and gave you the same Bill Belichickian answers. Well, Rents do. We got to do. It is what it is. A standard is a standard. And when things are rough, you don't want to hear that because you're angry, but you also don't want to watch your quarterback melt down. And now when things are good, oh, man, those little fortune cookie coats be out here cooking out here now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that we got Jalen Hurts as our quarterback, and he's not the guy. Well, somebody go out there and do a little essay report for me and find out who's the guy. How many starting quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl currently in the league? How many quarterbacks have been to a Super Bowl in this league? And then come back and tell me who's the guy. I'm trying to figure it out, JP. JP, who's the guy? Tell me who the guy is, JP.
Who's the guy that's won a Super Bowl in this league?
No. Who's the guy I'm supposed to just replace today for Jalen Hurts?
Oh.
I need a guy, the guy. Patrick Mahomes, you think they're going to swap him out? You know what I mean? Like when the people say, who's the guy? Like, who do you think we're getting? That's the guy. Because you actually mentioned it earlier. You said the Lions. Now, that guy went to a Super Bowl and lost. And his coach said, you're never going to be the guy. Get me Matthew Stafford. Matthew came in there. They instantly won a Super Bowl. But now look at the resurgence of the guy who already had been to a Super Bowl, bringing life back to the Lions and bringing them back to some kind of credibility and potential greatness, right?
No, definitely. Listen, I mean, Jalen Hurts literally played in a Super Bowl 2 years ago, so we know he could definitely do that. And like, I think what's important is when you see the last two performances by the Birds, specifically in the offense, is he's trusting his guys, right? He's trusting the offense coordinator in the play calls. He's trusting his weapons, and obviously it's easy to trust Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. But as the schedule gets easier and he's gaining more trust with these guys, that confidence is only going to increase. And so you're going to see you're probably going to see more of that 2022 offense, and just that big play ability is what I'm really referring to going forward with this team. But if you got a confident bunch with these guys, especially the young talent that we have, it's going to be really dangerous. But I don't think they're perfect yet, right? And they still have work to do. But once these weeks go by, they're going to be a much more polished product. I feel it, man. I feel it, even with the antics of Sirianni. And can we by the way, can we relax on the tush push? Like, I mean, like, listen, I understand the effectiveness of the tush push, but you have Saquon Barkley. Get the man a freaking touchdown. Now you have another weapon in the running game in Ben Van Sumeren. Dude, we don't need to see the tush push 8 times, 10 times a game.
Jason, do you want to answer that question?
So I kind of agree. I'm getting bored with the tush push, but then you go check out the Bears when they were on the goal line, couldn't do a tush push. They try and run a play and hand it off to an offensive lineman to try and get funny on the goal line and fumble it and end up costing themselves that game away. So I'll take the play that works 87% of the time, or whatever the number is now, that Juergens is at center, and just, roll with that and hopefully take the 6 points.
And I'm going to double down on that, JP, and tell you and all the naysayers in the chat and on the comments and the audio listeners, because the more you audio listeners, and I know that y'all are out there clapping for JP right now. You're like, oh, snap, see, we finally got somebody who knows ball on the show. Shut up and listen to me. I'm telling you right now. This is a team that likes each other and they're willing to sacrifice, and there's no egos. So Barkley says, run it again. It's not about my touchdowns because I've got my guaranteed money. Thank you, Howie Roseman. He doesn't have a touchdown incentive. He might have a bonus or something in there, but he's like, bro, I got my guaranteed money. I don't care. I ran this all the way down here. I squat the same thing as Jalen. If he wanted to do the tush push, he literally could line up under center and just do it for him. But he's like, you know what? Let this dude go over there and get a little taste of CTE, and I'm going to sit back here and push a tushy and let them get the touchdown. So, no, I'm not tired of it. They didn't ban it. I get to use it. And, yes, they use it a lot, but I'm telling you right now, you know what the problem is with people like JP? I know what JP's problem is. And all the listeners, I know what your problem is. Fantasy. You forget fantasy. Because fantasy, you might have $100 on it. It's for everybody out here with the Saquon over the 80 yards, over the 60 yards, and a touchdown. Well, if you don't bet accordingly and start adjusting for the tush push, I took 2 Jalen Hurts touchdowns, which I had the foresight to take 3. If you don't start taking tush push touchdowns anytime, then that's a you problem, JP. We ain't never letting it go. Tush push you for life.
Saquon Barkley can get you a yard or 2 as well. All I'm saying is a little variety, okay? A little Doritos and some Fritos, okay? A little variety.
If he doesn't get it from the 50-yard line, it's not happening, bro. Like it's not. And you see him, he shoots out of a cannon, and it's for people who do have. I understand the frustration. I'm just joking, obviously, but the frustration of this man getting 30-yard clips, 50-yard clips, and he gets a home run touchdown, or he gets pushed out at the 3 and the 2, it's almost comical. Like, I'm like, does he not want to get a touchdown? Like, it seems weird because he's so close so often. And then they're like, well, you know what they're going to do. So it is what it is.
Tush
Isn't it weird that the Eagles always end up on the 2 or the 1, like, and they don't get the ball into the end zone? They're always there. It reminds me when I was a kid and I was playing Madden and I want to set like a scoring record with somebody or win an MVP. So you'd run the ball down and then go out at the 1 yard line to make sure that guy could get the touchdown. It seems like the Eagles are purposely not scoring so it hurts Ken.
That's literally what it feels like, JP. It's
because they know we're all talking about the tush push. They want
and the one thing about it that did bother me being serious is, so we've seen it and we know it more than anybody else. There's, off the top of my head, there's 6 variations of it. Whatever they saw against the Bengals where they kept going to the left slot in, that 3rd or 4th time they were crashing over and you saw them pulling Jalen Hurts back and then they had to adjust to go over the middle. But like, dude, 4 times in a row you kept going to the left. You think that the other team's not going to recognize that too? So we for that, the variety, I do feel like we need to put in there. They obviously saw some weakness in the players on the left side where they thought they could attack it, but the weakness is also in the variety and that rollout play, the pass off of it. You know, there's a lot of things you could do. You know what I mean? So
maybe they prefer Dickerson and Johnson over Steen and the other Johnson.
So
it's Dickerson. That's why.
Well,
he's a big boy.
So that was just against the Bengals. They didn't do that against the Giants and other teams because I went back and I looked. Whatever it was against the Bengals, they kept hammering the left side until they jumped over and then pulled Jalen back. Then they started going to the center and to the right. So again, I feel like whatever they studied, you can't just say like, oh, their defensive whatever is out or he's weak. Dickerson can move him because they're just going to load up and give him help. They were timing it too. They were jumping over the top. So that's my thing. Just sprinkling some variety so JP's happy.
Well, now I got a question asked for Aunt Duffy. So thank you.
Yeah. Ask him how that looks. Ask the king.
Dude, I was with them on Sunday watching the game. Yo, he literally has a notebook writing down every single play, everything going on in every play. Dude, he is literally, Cuz calls him Leatherhead. It's for a reason.
Yeah.
He breathes.
I watch the all 22s, so I feel good about myself. So I'd be like, so I go by the, I'm like, cuz I don't analytics, I mean, but I feel how the game feels. But then when I go back and I watch it all 22, and I'm like, so my feeling was right. He is out here hitting. Like, okay, so let's talk about the defense real quick, and then we're gonna get into some other things. Cooper DeJean is not a corner. He's just a safety. I took at number 1. He is, oh my God, the boy can hit, and he's got that hand strength. When he went out there and he took a bad angle on that tight end who had been cooking us, and I was like, damn it, he overshot him, and you saw it. He tried to blow him up, he dipped him, and then he reached back with his paw and just yanked him down. That's that farm boy strength. That's that hawk strength out there, and that was impressive to me. JP, who's your favorite young kid out there? I'm gonna leave the obvious one out there. I'm gonna leave my favorite out there, and I stole Cooper DeJean. But who you like out there on the defense? Who's showing up for you?
I mean, I'll be honest. I did not think I would love Cooper DeJean the way I do, but like you talked about it, fundamentals. I mean, that'll definitely get you a little horned up as an Eagles fan for sure. But I mean, come on, Quinyon Mitchell, and it's simply because of the fact that the kid plays with the freaking edge. Like, he doesn't care if it's Randy Moss or if it's Jalen Reagor on the other side. He's going to you're going to get shut down, and that's his mentality every single time. And it's just been a lot of fun to watch. Young corners that are flourishing, that you see the promise, and obviously they've got ways to go, but it's really exciting. We haven't seen this since I was a freaking kid with Lito and Sheldon.
So you heard it here first. JP said trade Slay. I didn't say it. JP said it. Out there, you know what I mean? I didn't say it. It was JP. JP literally said, we don't need Slay. Let these young lions go out there and hunt because Slay is mid-play and he's got to go today. I didn't say it. JP said it. Y'all heard it. Shout out to Steve in the comments.
Yeah, what's up, Steve?
Steve. Steve is our number 1 show fan contributor person. If Steve's not here, the show didn't get started. That's why when you're late, I gotta dock your pay, Steve. I gotta dock your pay. Jason, who you liking out there? Is it Davis? Are you liking Davis out there, Jason?
No, it's Nolan Smith was the guy I've had my eye on. Last year when Nolan Smith came out, that was the guy I thought they might pick at 12 when they They ended up where they were supposed to be, and then he ended up falling all the way to 30. I thought that was a big steal. Then he comes out, picks the number 3, looking like the Iverson jersey with the Eagles. So I'm like, that's a jersey I probably should get. But I'm like, let me wait a little bit to see if this guy can play, because, you know, in this economy, buying a jersey and getting a bust is no good, right? And now this year, he starts off the season, no pass rush, and it's like, well, maybe it's just a bust. But you hear about how he sets the edge good, and everybody's impressed with that, and that he's coming along nicely. And now he's got 2.5 sacks in the last 3 games. Everyone thought he had 3, but, you know, they cut it down to a half sack the last game. That's okay. But he looks like he's starting to figure it out there. And if he can become that second pass rusher opposite of Sweat, then that's going to really help out this defense.
Yeah, I can agree with like all you guys' sentiments on all that stuff. And it's just good seeing these guys out there and having a chance to, as JP said, gain that confidence and get on the roll and do what they need to do. Flyers up 1-0.
Dodgers are up 2-0 also.
Yes, the sweep is in.
Freddie Freeman, another home run.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
bro, like, okay.
2-run homer in the first.
I hate it here. I hate it here. So actually, I'm happy because bleep the Yankees, always fuck the Yankees. I forgot I'm on my own track. Cuss if I want to. Yeah, the Fangio way is starting to work itself out, but by doing that, Davis has been having less snaps and the defense is looking more effective. He is officially in bust mode for me, because if you're having addition by subtraction with him, that's not good. And then on top of that, you know, Huff is trying to, I believe in what Baldy said. Baldy said we're not using him the right way. I'm going to trust in that. And the only thing I say about Nolan Smith is with the Fangio defense, any team that's smart, the way they had Chase line up in the backfield like a running back and had him flare out so that Smith is on your wide receiver. I don't want a lineman covering Terrell Owens in the end zone for a go ball ever in my life. Like, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's who's the best. You can name anybody. I don't care who it is.
You know what's crazy about that play though is he stuck with him for a little bit, but Burrow bought time. Otherwise, he was there. He had the coverage on it.
He was there. And N'Kobe Dean has been impressive, Steve. He has. All the young guys have been showing up. And N'Kobe is the one where he's always around the ball, but sometimes it looks like he's not doing anything about that, but he's just around the ball. So
his N'Kobe's coverage skills are need help.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's getting there.
Yeah, but he's always around the ball. So we give him that. So let's
what's crazy about Bryce Huff is that Brandon Graham had 1 less snap than Bryce Huff on Sunday. And you felt Brandon Graham's impact on Sunday. Did you guys feel Bryce Huff's impact on Sunday? I did not.
Well, from one Black Gritty to a BG, because I don't allow myself to say BGs in the same sentence until we get the podcast going one day. I told him real G's, you know what I mean? BG and BG. But there's something about his career and his personality that I love so much. Like, I've talked to him like a couple minutes personally, and I told him, like, I was one of those people that I used to just hate the way you were playing. Then I hated the way you were getting treated. And now I love you and I love you for life. Like, you could fall off a cliff, bro, and I'm gonna ride with you because of the way that you've turned yourself around from just me watching you. Like, I'm on social media all the time. So I remember when he was on his band spree and he was just talking back to people and people were talking to him directly. That's why I'll say mid-play Slay, but I never at Slay directly. I don't at a player to attack them because they don't need that. You know what I mean? If I'm talking to my peers and my equals, you know what I say when I say his name. I don't need to at that man to be like, oh, he played like trash today. He knows. And I'm not the guy to go have that vitriol. But Brandon Graham, to come through where he's come from and what he is, my God, he is. I know everybody loves Kelsey, but that man feels like an Eagle. So when you say you feel his presence, he is an ageless wonder out there. He is flashing all the time. And talk about having a lineman out there on your wide receiver. When he lined up against neighbors, I was like, oh, sweet Jesus. Sweet Jesus, life is good. You know what I mean? God is good. It was so amazing.
He's trying to get that corner money. That's why.
Right. I won that. He's coming back next year. I thought it was going to be his last year, but he should. Yeah. So we're gonna come back and talk Birds, Jags at the end. So the 76ers.
Oh boy.
Frown.
Well, God bless Maxey, man. Maxey Maxie is he's going to be the Brandon Graham of the Philadelphia Sixers. You can't be mad at this dude. He's always going to beat the charges. When somebody's like, he has a bad day, I don't care if he goes 0 for 32. I really don't. He plays all the time unless he's legitimately injured. And when he is injured, when I watch him on the bench, he is supporting his team and he's angry that he's not playing in the game. You can see when they go on runs and they're down, sometimes guys laugh and they play a loop, they're not paying attention. This dude's in the game. He looks like a coach's son. I love Tyrese Maxey. What say you, JP?
I'm going to go as far as to say this. Even when Embiid comes back, because we all know Paul George's role on this team, but even when Embiid comes back, Tyrese Maxey needs to be the focal point of the Sixers offense. And it's simply because we all know Joel Embiid's going to get the looks. He's going to get more than one defender most of the time on the court, especially on the offensive possessions. So Tyrese Maxey, we all saw the potential. And obviously, look, this year he started off great. Now, obviously, hasn't had a lot of help either. But come playoff time, it has to go through Tyrese Maxey. And then Embiid's going to get his as well. But he's got to be the focal point. And it's been so much fun watching Maxey grow up from the backup to, remember we were killing Doc Rivers for not giving him minutes. And look at him now. We're talking about him being the focal point of the Sixers.
I wish I had the picture teed up, but when they played the Bucks and he tried to hug Maxey, what's his name? Glenn Rivers tried to hug him. Maxey looked at him like,
"Get away from me, bro."
Dude, it's like, boy. It was just dude, I told you you're not getting my number. I don't care what you do. I don't care what your job is.
Yo, it looked. Remember when Lil Mama hopped on the stage when Jay-Z and Alicia Keys were singing?
Yeah, yeah. It was like, and I gotta stand here and let this dude half side hug me because you know what I mean. He's a good kid. So before we get into the bigger stuff, Jason, how are you feeling about the Joel-less Sixers and Maxey living the life?
Obviously, everybody's going to love Maxey, like you both said. How lucky are we that we have Hurts with his work ethic and Maxey with his work ethic, that every year they come back with a new trick added to their bag, right? Maxey's constantly adding something. The three-point shots improving year after year. The floater's getting better. He's running the offense smoother. But I'm confused with the Sixers, right? We were told that this is the deepest Sixers team Morey's ever put together, yes?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. But yet, without Paul George and without Embiid, they look like they are not good at all. They don't look like they can beat anybody. They struggle to score. They make bad decisions on the court. They take dumb fouls. So I'm like, where's this depth at, right? Like, I'm a bit, I want Yabusele. It's all Yabusele time, baby. But then, no, not really, right? He's not that good. So it's a little confusing when Eric Gordon, is he washed? He looks washed a little bit, right? Unfortunately.
So
a little bit.
The one thing that kills me is they beat the Pacers.
Yeah.
And to me, I think for you to be able to beat the Pacers, you can't have Joel Embiid on the court. Because when Joel's in the court, they run him up and down ragged and they blow us out every time we play them. So I watched that game and it was actually a competitive game. And I'm like, so this is where it's like, maybe you're going to learn to say, okay, this is where Joel can't play for us. So when you're playing against the Sacramento Kings and they just run, Fox and them just run like deer, Joel can't do that anymore. And Joel slows down the rest of the team where Maxey could speed it up. So if you had Maxey and George, that might be enough to help you win those games against those teams not playing Joel.
Oh, man. Joel's getting Gobert minutes now?
So just because this is interesting audio, I'm going to play this clip from All the Smoke podcast where they're talking about Joel Embiid pre-announcing he's not going to be playing back-to-backs anymore, and then we'll talk about that.
In the locker room, this is one of your final stops on your 20-year career. Your best player say this. What's your mindset in the locker room?
He's not here for us for real. It's just, to me, it's just selfish. Players understand that that played for a long time and that may be on their last contract, or they actually are competitors. They're going to feel the same way. How do you build chemistry? How am I going to listen to you telling me what to do and you're not even fucking playing on a back-to-back? Or like, how does that, it fucks the locker room up too. If you have vets that are, strong and understand what it takes to win, or come from playing with other players that actually fucking cared about practice and getting better, how can I listen to you if you telling me one thing, but you sitting on the sideline half the time.
What do you think?
So before I play the next clip, that's Trevor Ariza for the audio listeners, and he is a toured role player. He is someone who has come up in big moments and played a lot of minutes in this league, and he has never been the star guy. So when he speaks on that role of having to look up to star players and respect star players, I take his word as credibility to that mindset of being that guy who's accepted that role. Then I'm going to play this clip that's by Matt Barnes.
Let me be the devil's advocate. Obviously, the knock on him has always been tremendously talented, but doesn't really work in the offseason.
Right.
But I will say there were, I don't know if it was whispers, but they said that, you know, he dropped 20 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, coming into this season. So my question is, maybe did he hurt himself getting himself in shape? And that's the thing. Whatever, at the end of the day, Trev, this motherfucker just can't stay healthy, and I'm gonna have to play through pain regardless. But do you really want me to go through this shit during the season, or do you want it in the playoffs? Let me be the devil's advocate.
So that was nice to hear a devil's advocate moment. And you take that with a grain of salt, because we talk about this every week. He went to the Olympics. He was supposed to be learning from the LeBrons and the Wardells and the champions, and he even learned that just because you're a champion doesn't mean you get starting minutes in the Olympics. So you have to learn in deference, because there was a game where Joel got benched. So all the maturity that we thought was going to happen, and then he does come in. He is in the best shape of his career. And then JP, he has a phantom injury. He tells people he's not playing back-to-backs ever for the rest of his life. And I have a Sixers starting season without the big man or Paul George, because he has an injury that's not really an injury, but it is an injury, and they're working on it. Fix it, JP. Tell me what happened.
Well, I mean, the only way we can fix it is if we get a genie. You know, one of our wishes we ask for a healthy Joel Embiid. I mean, I'm more on the line with Matt Barnes, because, like, dude, we've lived through this for it's been like 8 years, more than 8 years now, and this man has yet to play a full season. This man has yet to play a healthy. He's never been. No one's healthy in the playoffs, but this man's dealt with significant injuries in all these playoffs. So, like, if I have to pick Joel Embiid to play 60 games in the regular season or have him healthy in the playoffs, I'm picking him having healthy in the playoffs. And, you know, my beef right now is more so with the Sixers and the way they've kind of handled this. But Joe, I mean, for me right now, I hate to say it, but I'd rather have Joel Embiid healthy for the playoffs. I mean, sitting out right now, I really don't care if he sits out right now. The other stuff, I'd rather have it cleared up.
Jason?
The Sixers, as always, are just a PR nightmare, right? Like, why would you have Embiid announce that he's not playing back-to-back? So why wouldn't the Sixers say, hey, we have a plan this year for Joel to try and get him to the playoffs, and this is what we're going to do, and lay it out, kind of like how Pop did with Duncan back at, you know, at the tail end of his career. Like, having Embiid, it does come across like Ariza said, where it's like he doesn't care, he doesn't want to be out here. Meanwhile, I'm sure it's the Sixers that also were collaborating to come up with this plan of how they're going to keep Joel healthy during the season. And then coming into the season, we're all excited, right? We got Paul George, the big off season, and then Embiid is hurt, or just ramping up. He's not ready. Did he not know the season was starting? Like, it just every time the Sixers do something, it's a PR nightmare.
So they got fined $100,000 by the NBA after their investigation. And I personally wish it was $1 million, because $100,000 to people that are that rich is like asking me for 25 cents. It's not really an issue. But it is the PR problem. You know, shout out to the Sixers organization for listening to Gritty Nights, because you know that I've said for the last 5 to 6 years, Joel Embiid only should play home games and nationally televised games. Any other game that's not nationally televised and it's not a home game, he should not play. And that's how you get him healthy to the playoffs. So obviously they listen to me and they're implementing my plan. But the problem is I didn't say have Doofus McGoofus go out there and say it on a podcast and tweet it out, because that is the optics of it is what it is. The Sixers they take every single injury, and it just seems like there's something in the water here where we can't get healthy. You watch other people, and I'm not talking about LeBron James because he's a robot, but other people get injured and they come back from injury so much quicker than they happen in Philadelphia. And it's absolutely bothersome. And you're still raising the ticket prices year after year, hand over fist, and you're not delivering a product. So like JP said, I personally am not upset that he's not playing, but you could have given me a little bit of sugar with my medicine. You could have gave it to me a little bit sweeter so that I wouldn't have been upset or bothered by it, because we all understand, like JP said too, like we've all said, he gets injured. We want him to be healthy. We need him to have more rest. But you can't butter us up and tell me the Olympics and all these things, he's in the best shape of his life, and then nothing. It just hurts.
Yeah. No, and like this is why like my beef is with the Philadelphia 76ers, because this is the same organization that had an owner with the burner accounts. This is the same organization that mishandled the number 1 overall pick Markelle Fultz and his injury and his gyps or whatever it was. Same organization that, you know, had to deal with the Ben Simmons situation that kind of blew up in everyone's face.
Hey, Ben's back to playing basketball. You watch your slander. Did you not see him against the Atlanta Hawks? Pass up. Oh, my bad. Carry on, JP. I apologize for interrupting you.
This organization, I don't care who's the GM, I don't care who's the owners, whatever. They do not know how to handle these type of situations. And like every NBA team that's been a contender over the past, you look at the Miami Heats of the world, the Boston Celtics of the world, the Golden State Warriors of the world, they don't ever have to go through shenanigans like this. Why is it that we can't get it together? Why?
That's the question. That is the question. So now for our visual learners that are here watching us live, for audio listeners, you might want to put it on 1.5 speed. JP, tell me about the Union. In soccer, JP, I'm looking to be educated and now Jason's he coaches soccer with the youth. He is helping America grow with the soccer alliances. Me personally, I did my time. I coached for like a season and a half.
I coached your daughter for a year.
That's right.
Hey, I love that.
So, you know, go ahead and tell me something about soccer, JP, so I can lie and say that we talk about it on the show.
well, listen, I mean, I wish I had brighter stuff to kind of talk about, but it is a little bit of a dark period here for the Union as they missed the playoffs for the first time in 7 years. They were going through a great run. They were one of the elite teams in the MLS.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Sounds like the Union season.
Explosion. Alert.
I thought I hit something. I was like, oh, no.
It wasn't me. Carry on, Union. I apologize to the Union listeners. I tried to give you time, and I still messed it up.
All good, brother, man. It just, listen, the main problem with the Union, and listen, you guys don't have to watch MLS all the time to kind of know the problems. When you run back a team constantly, and listen, the Phillies have tough decisions to make this offseason, right? When you're running it back constantly every year, it gets stale. And finally this year, it kind of imploded on them. And they definitely had a lot of bad luck. Obviously, Andre Blake, if you guys don't know, probably he's going to be hands down the best Union player of all time, one of the best goalkeepers in MLS history. He misses a significant amount of time, and they were completely lost. And then to kind of put the cherry on a rough season, this past weekend, we got the sad news that fourth-string goalkeeper, who we all had some high aspirations for in the future, 25 years old, Holden Trent, passes away, and we're all just kind of left in shock. And so right now, not only do we have to go through that Union season, we have to deal with this sad news, and you're feeling for this family. He was engaged, PG, like he was literally about to get married next December 20th, and so it was just really sad. So right now, I mean, Philly sports, it's not always pretty, but right now with the Union, it's definitely dark.
So, and things like that happen. Again, I don't follow the team like that. I did read about that. It bothers me so much because one, loss of life and losing anyone, like same thing just happened a few months ago with other players on another team. That just brings a team down, or it inspires a team. It is one of those things where it is human nature. Some people go out there and say, oh, my father passed away and I did it for my dad today. You know what I mean? And other people, like, they fall apart and everybody's like, he had the worst game of his career. He lost his father, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you lose a teammate or you lose someone that you're in there with every day, it's not like they got traded and you can still call them and hang out with them. But, Andrew, you're right. Life is short. And it's like,
well said.
The mindset of that as a teammate, it can make or break your team. Because what you said too is when you run it back all the time, you're running it back with family now. You're running it back because you love the guys and the guys love each other and they're close knit. And you feel like we're so glued together. We're just one move away, one player away from overcoming. Because a few years ago, they seemed like they were at the pinnacle, right? Like they were they were right on the cusp. And you're like you said, you run it back, but that's it all. Like I said, that's just a weird thing to have going on right now.
Yeah. Well, so so pretty much like the Reading Fighting Phils for the Union, they're literally called Union 2. They're going through the playoffs. They actually did make the playoffs, luckily. So they had so they get this news, BG. They get this news right before their semifinal Eastern Conference playoff match. So literally minutes before you find out that one of your teammates passes away, you have to go out and play a soccer game. They played inspired. They won, so they punched their ticket into the Eastern Conference Finals, which is pretty cool to see. But you're spot on. It's gonna be interesting how the senior team kind of handles this news going into next year, and the Union have a lot of question marks too. It's going to be a big offseason. Missing the playoffs is unacceptable after the past couple of years that we had. And by the way, too, we did have Kevin Sullivan, who I'm sure you guys have heard about. Everybody's talking about it around the world, not just in the MLS or just in Philadelphia, but a lot of eyes on him. He's pretty good, but he's also a teenager, so it's gonna be interesting what they look like in 2025.
A lot of youth movement in the Philadelphia sports arenas nowadays.
Yeah, man, I love it, dude. We love our young ones, right? We love our young stars here in Philadelphia.
You do.
Yeah, but like watching them grow, so then we can talk bad about them when they mess up. My favorite thing to do is Philadelphia
Jason.
fans. It's just facts. That's what we do, man. We love it. It's my favorite thing too. I'm like, God, I love like when the Sixers were back. Like, I can't wait till they're good. Then they get good. You're like, they suck. I hate it. Like, I want them to be bad again so I can be happy. Right?
I don't like the way this feels.
Yeah. I don't know how to deal with success.
He's right though.
Like what you're saying, but I don't like it.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not healthy.
Shout out to you, John Peace. We're gonna have to either kidnap JP and bring him back every other week just to talk soccer, or I can just go to watch the show and I'll clip something out that sounds smart and we'll just play it. We'll keep JP around. Have an AI JP. That's what we're going to include in the show's roundup on things. So the Flyers, are they still winning? Andrew, check it out. Andrew, I got the World Series. I can't be
1-0, but some bad news that I hate to see, and I think everyone should as well. Jamie Drysdale went down. He went to the locker room, which we all know his injury history. So hopefully he's fine. Hopefully.
So I've said it week after week, and I'm going to say it again, repeat myself for those who aren't listening. But JP, how is your mindset vibe for the Flyers this year? What is your thought process on how you're taking it? You want to hear mine first, JP?
Yeah.
Say if you agree or not. Okay, I'll do it for you because I saw your eyes light up. And you're like, man, look. So, like the last 2 years, my daughter's really into hockey. I'm not so much. I am Black Grady, but it's more so because of my daughter than it is for me. She loves hockey, and it was like, man, we finally got a goalie. We needed goalies, and it's like we've waited so long. Like if we only had a goalie for like the last 20 years, then we get them, and then they disappear. And I'm like, okay, so we don't. All right, now we're back to. And then we get new ownership, leadership, management. I'm like, oh, I believe in these guys because the Flyers always just retread old Flyers. But this time they got it with guys that I know care about hockey and they care about the fans. And no matter what, I believe in their vision and process for turning the team around. So I buy back in on that. Then, I get my Russian star who wasn't supposed to come here because nobody ever comes to Philadelphia. And that turns around. He comes over quickly. We get another young kid in, and I'm like, you know what? I am going to watch these games and not tweet anything. I don't tweet when we get blown out by 4. I tweet when we win. Like I'll retweet somebody else's tweets or whatever, but I'm just consuming the hockey and learning the young players and watching the team. I'm a Tortorella guy because I'm a begrudging and I'm an asshole, so I enjoy him. I also feel like for young guys, he'll be their coach for this year. Show them the hard-nosed way to be, and then somebody else with a softer hand will come in and help them ascend. But I'm just watching to enjoy, bro. Like I can't take any more rage in my heart. The Phillies had me up here. The Sixers got me up here. The Eagles got me up here. Like I can't afford another one with such a young team that is not going to do anything yet. So I'm just enjoying the product that's being out there the best I can every other night.
And listen, I completely get that. And like, look, we're gonna constantly, especially myself, we're gonna constantly compare this to the Sixers process. And like the one thing that's different is that at in an early stage, like you get to see the star player, and Michkov is definitely that star player. Where like we really didn't get to see Joel Embiid early on in those process years. So like that's a really cool part that you are able to see Michkov, and he's as advertised, and he's really good even at a young age. And dude, he's only good. He's going to get so much better, which is the best part about it. Here's kind of where I'm at with the Flyers. So last year was a surprise year, right? You know, they were knocking on the door. They were pretty much in a playoff spot for almost the entire season, and then they have that late season collapse. And you know, you're thinking to yourself like, okay, well, listen, the collapse definitely a little bit of a concern, but we did not expect them to be in a playoff spot, nowhere near a playoff spot. We thought that this was a complete rebuild. We were going to go through our growing pains, lose a bunch of games, get a top 5 pick. But as you see in the NHL, like there's like a boatload of franchises. You look at the Buffalo Sabres, you look at the Anaheim Ducks, like they have young players. But sometimes, even if you do build a nucleus of good young pieces, you still need mature players to kind of help them go to the path that they need to go to. And so like I loved last year because although they were young, they were learning how to win and play winning hockey. So going into this year, my expectations like, dude, if they knocked on the door on a playoff spot and now you have some young pieces that are exciting, and by the way, big part of the reason why you didn't get in last year is because you couldn't score enough goals. Your power play was literally historically awful.
They were dead.
Yeah.
They were dying at the end of the season.
Yeah. Well, this year you have some more talent. That should be enough to knock on the door. And I didn't think this Metropolitan division was tough. The Atlantic's a different story, but the Metropolitan I didn't think was tough. But this year, the problem is, I mean, number one, this defense is god-awful. You just lost Cam York. That's rough right now. You have to match Sanheim with Risto. I'm not really crazy about that pairing. And now I really feel like we do need some more defensemen. I thought maybe Sanheim could maybe be a top defenseman, but I'm thinking more now he's a second pairing defenseman. And goaltending, is a little bit of a concern. Sam Ersson right now, look, I've been a big Sam Ersson guy. But right now I'm feeling more like he's a 1B instead of a 1A, which is not bad. Like you could still find yourself a 1A. In this league today, you do need 2 solid goaltenders because you need to rotate them, especially in the playoffs. And so I'm fine with that. Offensively, we'll be okay, but this defense has to get fixed. The way Torts has instilled these guys to play, it's defense. Offense will come from that, and that just hasn't happened this year.
See, Jason, do you hear that?
I do. Like I said, the Flyers are in that part I was just talking about. They're on the rise, right? This is when it's fun. You watch the game. Even if they lose, you're like, I know, but Michkov, man, that was fun, right? Is he better than Bedard? He might be better than Bedard. I'm just going to say it right now. I like watching Lachenko before they sent him down. 18 years old up here, just making plays for a little bit, but, not ready to be up for full time. Ersson, like you said, I think he's closer to a backup than a 1B. I think he's more like a backup quarterback that everyone loves when he comes in the game short term, but if he's exposed long term, he really gets exposed out there. But you don't really criticize the team, right? You enjoy the game now when you watch it because there are no expectations. You just want to see them grow and have fun, and like they look better than last week. It's coming along.
See, JP got the hat on, and he was talking so passionately. He almost had me getting ready to care, but I can't care. This is why I don't see JP. See, JP, this is why you can't come back. This is why I need AI JP. Because I went first, and I was calm, and then the way you started talking, I was like, well, you know what? And they should. And then I started caring. And I was like, I said I wasn't going to do it. JP, I'm a big man, okay? I'm on medication. There's only so much my heart can take, so I got to compartmentalize my emotions. Shut up, JP.
I feel you, brother. I feel you on that one.
You was out there talking that talk, and I was like, oh, yeah, we because you feel like we should be close, we could be close, but it's like one of those 1 step back, 2 steps forward situations for me.
Possibly, yeah.
So I feel like, again, that's the mindset I give myself. I'm just saving myself.
So 1 step forward.
Because last year, everybody was like, oh, I was like, if they don't make the playoffs, it's okay. And everybody was so angry. I'm like, bro, we had like inspired, like we cared. Can we start with the caring that we care again? Like,
well, I think people were upset because like we're Philly sports fans. How many collapses have we seen in our life? Especially like the old heads. Like we've seen way too many collapses in the city, brother.
Well, I know JP. I know JP. And you said there with the cuz. He reminds you every day that you're 12 years old and he's 9,000. And you ain't saying nothing without seeing it, boy. You don't know nothing about nothing. I'll tell you what, when you was back there in that dust moon puppy, I saw it watching this. You don't know nothing about nothing. Shut up, boy. Listen, somebody call in and tell JP about 1947. Because I was there in my mind's eye. I went in time travel. I saw the whole thing. It was live. JP don't know nothing. He was a baby, a punk baby.
So, you know, I was waiting for the cuz to show up in the background like Devontae Adams, just behind JP, just because peeking in real quick. Like
that was so awkward. And he's like,
he be lurking out here. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was good.
No, if I know cuz right now is on that couch. He's got the World Series on the big screen, and he's slipping back and forth between the Flyers and the World Series and whatever else other sports is going on. This is his golden hour right now.
And so, speaking of that, we're just going to talk about the World Series real quick. The Phillies are not winning a World Series. They're not winning a World Series.
What?
Like, so it's funny because when Yankees fans, because I have a lot of Yankees fans, and I've tried to be happy for them just because they haven't been there recently, but they still live off that 27 championships. Like, yeah, bro, because you could buy them and the mafia was a thing. Every single mafia movie I watched told me that these goon dudes were out here making sure that the Yankees were winning and people's pockets were getting lined. I don't believe they earned 27 championships. I don't even believe Steinbrenner could afford all these players without the mafia's involvement. I'm putting it out there. I don't care. The mafia is not as strong as it used to be. Come find me if you want to. But I just know for a fact that the mob made sure that they got at least 17 of them 27 championships. But we're back to the arms race of who's going to spend the most money. And we're tapped out, bro. Middleton said he was going to spend crazy money. He has spent crazy money. Could you imagine, JP? Can you imagine blowing? Okay, let's give you a number. Let's say you make $100,000 a year, JP. Let's just say you went out there and said, I'm going to buy a house cash for $50,000. And you get in that house, there's no roof, there's holes in the floor. The gas don't work sometimes. And you're like, that's Trey Turner. Like you went out and just spent a whole chunk. You spent $300 million. You got a crib, but then you get in it. You're like, what? Ain't no walls in this bitch. The roof's leaking. Why is my bathtub rusted out? Like, bro, you can't spend. I would never know what that feels like, even though you're rich, to give someone $300 million and to have them be trash panda when they come to play with you. And it's guaranteed. It's not like football where they cut you. Bro, now I'm looking at Ohtani. Chimata, gamble, defer $700 million. Like, okay, cool. What? Then they go get the pitcher. There's more people watching this World Series in Japan than all of America. And if you've never traveled the world, Japan is New Jersey. Japan is New Jersey. So that means every single person in New Jersey is watching the World Series, whereas random people around the U.S. are caring about the Dodgers and the Yankees. So we don't have the money, JP. We ain't got the funds.
Well, I mean, like, dude, like the one thing I toyed in my head, the easy fix would be, see, my thing is like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to move Schwarber out the leadoff spot. It's something against Schwarber. I love the big hits at the beginning, but if we've learned anything from these playoffs, bro, we got to get on base. We got to get on base. And a quick fix would be putting Trey Turner at the leadoff spot, but he can't get on base. So they got to get creative this offseason. I don't know how they're going to do that.
Jason?
Just wanted to real quick after your mafia comment, just a disclaimer that Black Gritty's viewpoints do not represent the viewpoints of his co-host or guests on the show. Just in case anybody, you said come find us, come find Black Gritty, not us. JP, leave JP alone. He's a guest on the show. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, haven't you heard the Phillies are going to be major players for Juan Soto? Yeah. That's not Juan Soto's agent leaking that information to try and drive up market value. That's an actual thing that's going to happen. Believe in it. They're definitely going to be part of it, right? No, right? They need to fix the bottom part of the lineup. I don't know how they do that, but they need guys that can work counts and they need guys that can have quality at bats. right now they have too many guys, including their stars, that chase pitches out of the zone, as we saw the entire series against the Mets.
Dude.
So now it's time to go back to the team they used to try and get, where your work counts, the real analytics thing, where you try and burn teams' starting pitchers and get into the bullpen and then go against that.
Oh my God.
How they do it, who knows, right?
Well, do we have faith in the daycare taking a step next year?
No, I don't think we can call them the daycare anymore. They're like the middle school at this point, and they're just like hormonal teenagers that are, moody, and we don't know what we're gonna get from them day in and day out. Like,
oh my God, the daycare is gonna take care of business.
Yeah.
They're like 31 and 32, and they sprinkle water and like shenanigans after every game. I love it so much. The one guy's got a beard. He sleep with half the free chicks in Philadelphia. Oh, the daycare. We're gonna.
Stop it with the daycare, bro. Stop it with the daycare.
I'm calling them a middle school from now on. I like that.
Yo, I'm about to call them the graduates and get them to funk up out of here, bro. I'm done.
Who gave him this nickname? I just wanted to know this, because even when they got the nickname, they were still like in their like mid to late 20s.
I mean, I'm done with it. I'm done with Jason. He done left me out high to dry. He ain't gonna ride with the boy. You know what I mean? The mafia is old and weak, bro. We can take him right now.
Just
we
reminder, Black British viewpoints do not represent. Like,
look, I'm just saying, I told him straight up to their face. The mafia ain't gonna do crazy out here. They heard
like
me.
The Devontae Smith touchdown clip now.
Yeah, they heard me. So yeah, that's the World Series. We're not gonna be in it. We got, because JP, we do what Philadelphia does. We are the union of baseball. We ran it back and we're running it back and we ran it back again, and now we're running out of money.
Only difference is the Union's owner doesn't spend money like the Phillies owner does.
This guy knows. This guy knows.
Shut up. So let me run these things real quick. How do I do this? There it is. This is the Dwayne Wade statue for the people out here. This was the explosion when JP was trying to talk. I was loading up the video.
Is this the Thriller video?
Yes, this is. It almost looks like a Halloween horror movie. The time of year, it's in this black box. They've got smoke and steam compression, unveiling the statue. He's wearing all black. He's copper. And let's just let this run and we'll talk about it. Happy. Now this is for audio listeners. I have video of Dwayne Wade sitting next to his son. And if you're not of the African American descent, there is something that happens between black men across America, or most ethnic men across America, where one of them gives you the side eye and the other one just nods, and we're verbally talking molecularly through our mindset. And it is, this is some bullshit. Yeah, I know, son. Nah, dad, this is some bullshit. It don't look like you, dad. He's like, I know, son. And above that, we have some memes that I've stolen from the internet because the internet is undefeated. So we'll just watch this and then we'll be talking about it in a second.
The Ronaldo statue too.
So it is just embarrassing that what is going on with these statue makers? Like, who? I get that this is a my house thing. It's a demonstrative statement, like, this is my house, Miami-Wade County. But why is he in like a white uniform or red? Like, why is it all black on top of the copper?
The face is really what just kills me, man. Like, that does not even look remotely. The only people that should be doing these statues, if you guys have watched the Pro Football Hall of Fame statues, those things are immaculate. Like, that's the only people who should be doing these type of statues.
That is an absolute fact. And it's just an embarrassment. And at least it's not 2 feet tall like the Allen Iverson statue. But the Allen Iverson statue at least look like Allen Iverson.
Right. That looks like Antoine Walker, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw it.
That's not.
Oh, wow.
Like,
every time somebody says it looks like, Morpheus from the Matrix or
Zordon from Power Rangers.
That's what it looks like to me. That's crazy. That no matter who you say, that's how it looks.
Definitely not
like.
Dwayne Wade.
Definitely
That's
not
just
Dwayne
the
Wade.
one person that never would have crossed my mind. I would have never guessed that.
So I just wanted to bring this up. The Jets.
Jets.
I mean, I wanted Nick Sirianni fired, but they had the balls to go and fire their coach. Oh, wait, it's not the coach's problem. Okay, we're going to move the offensive coordinator out. Oh, wait, it's not the offensive coordinator. We're going to go get one of the best wide receivers in the league who's not happy and wants to be reunited with the guy he didn't want to be reunited with before. And that's not working out. You lost to the Patriots, who are essentially tanking, and their quarterback went down in the first or second quarter, and you still lost that game with that defense. It's just embarrassing for the Jets. And afterwards, they went through what do you do in dark times? And he's like, I was born in dark times. I've had mushrooms in dark times. You just have to weather through it. Like, what are they doing? I mean, for everybody who says Jalen Hurts isn't the guy, you'd have been better off with Wilson. And look at how great that is when you're just switching out quarterbacks. And give Jason credit. I thought Minshew was at least going to be serviceable. He has not been serviceable out there for the Raiders. So when you say he's not the guy, who are you going to go get this the guy? Because one, Jalen Hurts is good enough to win you 9-10 games. I don't know if you know this about quarterbacks. You're not really drafting the elite quarterbacks at 9 or 10. Oh, and you pay them money. And you got to wait for the young guy to develop. So not every guy is CJ Stroud or Daniels. And Daniels is about to have a problem because he's already getting injured. So, JP, you feel bad for the Jets that they made that move?
I don't feel bad for any of the other 31 other teams, but I mean, dude, this Jets, they are snake bitten. Like literally, they always talk about Joe Namath sold himself to the devil. Like he literally did that. And the Jets have been suffering for over 50 years. It's just crazy. Like we've seen other organizations, like you need to look at the Broncos. They go all out and get their Peyton Manning. You look at the Bucks. They get Tom Brady. Even like the Vikings, like they went out and got Brett Favre and made it to the NFC Championship game at least. And here comes the Jets. They get Aaron Rodgers, and they think it's all settled, right? Boom. Tears his ACL on Monday Night Football. All right, we'll come back next year.
Plays in.
Yeah. We'll go. All right, it's all right. We'll come back next year. All right, here comes next year. We're trash, bro. We're trash. And they just can't figure it out. And then, obviously we all look at Joe Douglas, and he hasn't been great. And I think the only thing you really point at is just ownership is trash. And we see what bad ownership. I mean, the old heads in this city could tell you what bad ownership could do to a football team. What good ownership can do, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, who've consistently been pretty good over the last 20 plus years. So, yeah, the ownership is the big problem over there up in Florham Park.
That's the benefit of being young, JP. He don't know nothing but the goodness of life. He wasn't born in 42. He wasn't raised on the suffrage of others. You know what I mean? He didn't go through the potato famine with me and Cuz. JP don't know nothing. He don't know nothing, okay? Jason, the Jets...
The Jets just need a complete and total culture reset, right? They brought in Rodgers and they thought they were going to let him bring back the 2017 Packers team and, like the big dynasty Packers team that didn't really win anything either. And they brought in a bunch of old guys. They brought in, the first year they brought in Randall Cobb. They brought in all these guys to try and please Rodgers instead of developing the young talent that they had on the roster. Then Rodgers, like we said, he gets hurt last year right away. Robert Saleh, at any point during his tenure, did you think he was a good head coach? A good D coordinator. Do you think he was a good head coach, though?
I did. I thought that the quarterback was letting him down, and the defense was playing top-notch defense. And that's how he was like Mike Tomlin to me. And that he doesn't have his credentials, he doesn't have his resume, but I felt very strongly in the way that he was presenting the team and the way the team would fight and played for him. Shit, they were better with Wilson. They were 4-3 instead of 2-5. So I mean, he was doing something with the team. So yes, I did, but I might be fool's gold on that.
I just offseason, especially if you're going to fire him 5 games in, then in the offseason they should have went after a guy like Vrabel, try to change things around there and get a guy that can really set the culture there. But Rodgers isn't going to get along with Vrabel, so they're letting Rodgers basically GM the team, and he's terrible at it.
So
you can't let a player GM the team. And what sucks about Salah, like Salah is probably gonna get another defensive coordinator job. He probably is gonna do a great job there. But because of defensive coordinator, we all see how these coaching hirings work out. It's so hard for these defensive coordinators to get jobs now. And dude, you know what's crazy about Jets history? Like if you look at their successful eras, look at the quarterbacks that quarterback the team. The Vinny Testaverdes of the
Pennington,
world.
Chad
Mark
Pennington.
freaking butt fumble Sanchez. Are you kidding me?
He's the last one that did something for them in the playoffs. They beat the Patriots
in New England.
England.
Crazy, bro. 2 AFC Championship games.
And the last thing I'll say is they're not even getting Brett Favre Packer at play out of that's crazy because Brett came in there and was like slinging that thing. They had like some hope. They don't even have hope with this guy. So shout out to Ghost Train who said a long time till BG taps out. I forgot about that story. I'm gonna throw that up real quick, and then we're gonna get two last things, and then get JP out of here because he's got to go to bed. He gets up early in the morning. He's a hardworking dude. So everybody's on Richardson because Richardson ran a play and he essentially told the truth and said, "Hey, I was tired. I took myself out." This is
now, please lie. The second biggest mistake of the year came this week when Anthony Richardson subbed himself out. I'm not shaming AR. I like Buddy. He a good person, good dude. Met him, and I think he got a lot of great potential. But when media asks you questions, do not tell the truth all the time. That is not your job. Hey, my hip corner started being on fire again, my shoulder. You said, I'm going to leave that up to your medical staff, whatever, because it's just a bad look.
Yes, that's the same.
So that's Micah Parsons, Darius Slay's favorite podcast host, and he was made sure to very well be positive about a player when he was talking about something that he shouldn't have done, and big him up instead of just clowning him. He's learned his mistake against Philadelphia Eagles, but we say all the time we want players to tell the truth, and I just feel like there were so many linemen, especially on ESPN, Marcus Spears, all these guys that came out and were damn near cursing on live television about how I'm a fat lineman. I have to run down every play. He was running for his life all day. He fell on the ball. People lose their breath all the time. They get the wind knocked out of them. He's a young kid who just said, hey, I was tired for a moment. I needed a windbreak. To kill him for this and say, how could a team ever play for him is absolutely insane. They know how fast he is. They know how hard he runs. They know that he's coming back from injury after injury after injury, and he's still going out there. He could have just sat down if he wanted to just collect a check. He's trying. I personally don't feel this is that big of a deal. JP, what say you?
I mean, dude, I have to agree with the Damon Woodies of the world because, like, the fact is that, like, especially you're the starting freaking quarterback. The Indianapolis Colts, they spent high draft capital to select you to become their franchise quarterback. So when you are the franchise quarterback, unfortunately, there is a different standard for you than the other players, and they're going to expect you to be out there even if you are tired. A lot of quarterbacks do go out there while they're hurt, and they still play. I also have, a little bit of biasy because, look, I remember what he did in a preseason game here in Philadelphia, talking all that smack in a preseason game. So yeah, that is my lasting image of Anthony Rich. I know he's a solid quarterback, and like Michael Parr said, the dude does have potential, but he does feel like he just needs to mature a little bit, and he'll be fine with that.
Jason.
Yeah, Richardson needed to take a seat just for a little bit for the maturity aspect alone. There's a clip of a young Matt Stafford playing against the Browns where he gets his shoulders separated on a play.
I remember that. Great clip.
Everything he can to get back into the game. And the only reason he's allowed to is because a timeout gets called and he comes in and throws the game-winning touchdown, right? And leads the team and all that stuff and shows what a leader he is. Richardson, like Michael Parsons said, if he would have said, oh, I got banged up real quick and needed to get checked out, then that's what it is. To say you're tired and to basically just walk out for a play, you can't do that as the quarterback. Quarterbacks take hard hits. They get hit in the stomach. They get hit in the ribs, hit from behind, and you just got to basically lead the team, right? And set that example for your team. Is that fair? Probably not. But the bigger issue with Richardson is he hasn't been a good quarterback yet. He's got a great arm throwing deep, but he can't make a simple pass. He is the least accurate quarterback in the league right now, even though he's the youngest quarterback in the league. The Colts drafted him knowing he was going to be a project, but then for some reason rushed him out there instead of treating him like the project he should have been and developing him a la Jordan Love.
See, y'all would act like y'all was in a potato famine so bad. Y'all got this old man take, acting like, you know what I mean, a punk. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to bring some modernness to the. Shut up, both of y'all. Okay, last thing. Let's get out of here. Let's get JP tucked in. The Eagles are playing the Jags this week, and Dougie P's coming back. Thank you, Doug. If you don't know my history with Doug Peterson, I went from Doug negative to Doug neutral to Doug positive for the rest of my life. That man brought me my only Super Bowl. There's nothing he could do wrong. I will stick up for him. I will defend him. As for Nick Sirianni has been negative. He is negative, was negative, always will be negative. If Nick Sirianni wins a Super Bowl, I will simply never say his name again for the rest of my life. That's the best I could do for Nick because I just can't stand Nick as a person who talks. As a human being, fine human being. But Doug Peterson, the Jags, JP, we winning by 1,000. What's happening?
Dude, this matchup is set up perfectly for the Birds. I mean, the Jaguars' pass defense is god awful. They should be able to run the ball on them. And defense, I'm expecting the defense to continue what they've been doing. They've been flying around for the football. Dude, it's going to be at least a 2-touchdown score at the minimum. At home, come on. I got the Birds here.
So before I let Jason talk, JP, did you know
that
the last 2 games are historic reasoning numbers for the Eagles? They haven't beaten 2 teams by the same margin of that youth by multiple touchdowns, like 2 or 3 touchdowns in 70 years, JP.
How about that?
70 years. And it's also been 70 years since they scored a touchdown in the first quarter. Jason, what do you think is going to happen with the Jags?
Well, Jags just lost Christian Kirk for the season. Brian Thomas, their stud rookie receiver, is banged up and might not play. And then right before we started the podcast, the Jags traded their starting left tackle, Cam Robinson, to the Vikings. So they're potentially waving the white flag on the season already. So now we had the Eagles pass rush has another going against another offensive line that's going to be missing a left tackle. That's a big help for them. And the Jags passing game stunk with all their starting receivers. So I don't expect them to be able to put up many points against the Eagles defense now.
Also, side note, Coach Doug Peterson totes hates Trevor Lawrence and their outs. And he's like, look, you gorgeous bitch, you ain't shit, never been shit, never was shit. And I'm stuck with you because they paid you. So
I can't believe Doug hasn't been fired yet.
Well, who wants that job?
Somebody will take that job. Doug attaching himself to Press Taylor and just letting Press Taylor sink his coaching career has just been one of the most wild stories to watch. From Philadelphia to Jacksonville, it's just been crazy.
That is a thing. JP,
that could have been us, guys.
Yeah,
with Press Taylor and such. Dude, it's crazy because now not only is this losing record going on his resume, the losing record in 2020 with the Birds, but like people are going to look at Doug Peterson differently because of the collapse of Carson Wentz and now the collapse of Trevor Lawrence, ? So not good for Dougie P. I know the Super Bowl ring is nice, but the collapse of 2 quarterbacks?
It's not his fault. It's not his fault. So
But you know how this league works?
I know. I told you I'm sticking up for the man for the rest of his life. I owe him, JP. I owe him. I will fight for your honor. I am the man who will fight for your honor. I watched Karate Kid. I know the song. I'll be your hero that you're dreaming of. Long and forever. We'll be together. No one, you know the song. Anyway, 2 more things that JP, you can go home. Right now, there are bases loaded. The Yankees are all
my God.
They're trying
2 outs now.
2 outs now. Oh, they're about to blow it. They're about to blow it. If they blow it, I'll be happy because that's a dangerous situation to be in. But where is the thing? No, get back on there. Add the stage, JP.
They're not like us.
I'll be feeling it.
They're not like us.
Energy
They're
unmatched.
not like us, Cap.
I noticed.
0-3.
0-3.
They're not like us. They ain't like us.
Jeter was so mad.
Jeter was so mad, and it made me so happy because it's like the little things in life. This dude he was talking trash the whole week, and they're like, how are you going to get to New York, Bobby? He's like, I know people. Somebody going to get me in New York. Somebody.
Yankees hit a grand slam.
Rain.
Oh, wow.
Rain.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't matter. The Dodgers come back to win. And then this last video.
E Records.
Damn. Dear Jerry.
The team is really starting to look bad and it's getting scary. Like why we ain't call up Derrick Henry to get some carries? Like why every week we going out there and getting buried? Like why every week we go out and take belt to ass? The only time we win is if the other team is trash. And that shit got me mad and make me wanna go and crash. And I don't really mean to bash how long your tenure's gonna last. Throw the whole team in the trash. Dear Dak, I know that you wish you could get your hairline back. I know you wish the Steelers will come back in all black. I know you wish them in and outs were sharper than the tag, but they not, and that's a fact. So please stop throwing them.
So this is a Cowboys fan, and he makes some of the best remixes and stuff.
Dude, that is awesome. That is so good.
McCarthy on the beat, hope we won't win another game any week, bro. We won't beat a playoff team because we stink, bro. Got me putting on my shoulder pads. Got me walking around like Tizo. Why running game so bad? I be really thinking, who the fuck we got for GM? Because he really stinks. Oh shit, our GM used to coach Abe Lincoln. The window for that Super Bowl is steady shrinking. The family matter and the truth of the matter. It was God's plan to show y'all we sorry ass team. We a Super Bowl fraud. Sorry ass team. We a Super Bowl fraud. Hey, 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 pick another team. Hey, 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 pick another team. Sorry ass team. We a Super Bowl fraud.
So, you JP, I know you're busy, man. You don't get the little light.
Nah, you're good, man. That was so good. You know, honestly, that's like the one skill. Like, if I could have one skill, I wish I could rap like that, man.
Yeah, just making up songs and stuff like that. So I'm gonna play this last song and I'm gonna let you get out of here, just because I don't know if you've seen it. It's gonna take us offline, so they won't see us laughing, JP. But it is something that we throw on every week. I usually play like 4 times an episode, but I'm gonna just let it run through for the people that are new to the show.
Serotonin boost.
Yes. Watch how good you feel after watching this video.
Damn, fuck the 49ers. Yeah, fuck the 49ers. Yeah, fuck the 49ers. Y'all a sorry ass team. Thanks. Fuck the 49ers. Damn, I hate the 49ers. I hate y'all. I hate the 49ers. Fuck y'all. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks. Hey, 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 hey. Y'all lost to the Chiefs. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks. Hey, 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 hey. Super Bowl losing streak. Yeah. Hey, fuck the 49ers. Damn. I hate the 49ers. Facts. I hate that fucking team. Facts. Brock Purdy look like Jimmy Neutron for Sheen. Timu Tom Brady got your quarterback from Sheen. Why I hate that team so much, where can I begin? Damn, fuck George Kittle, bro, he look like Ben Franklin. Man, fuck Brock Purdy, bro, he look like Ronald Reagan. Man, fuck Debo Samuel, bro, he look like the baby. Man, fuck the 49ers, I can't say it enough. Yeah, y'all thought y'all had this one, huh? Yeah, that shit was just a bluff. And I ain't trying to hear what you gotta say about my team. Cause we both went home with the same amount of rings. Facts. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks. Hey, 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 hey. Y'all lost to the Chiefs. Bow, 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 bow. Y'all some booty cheeks. Hey, hey, hey.
Bow, bow, bow. Y'all some booty cheeks.
I love that, man.
Super Bowl losing streak. That's just something.
Screw the Niners. Love it.
This week, the Niners took care of business for the Cowboys for us. So I didn't really have to play it all day. But that's just what we do out here in the streets. Again, JP, thanks for being on.
No, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Talking soccer, and you know what I'm saying. I appreciate you. JP is out here right now. He's doing like double duty. Are you on with Johnny Marks still, or what's going on?
For the rest of the week, I'll be producing Mark's show and producing the Philly show. Always the union every week. We just got it done our episode today at 1:00. We had our live recording once a week, but yeah. You catch me on PHLI Sports. I'm doing everything. Sometimes we catch me on Flyers post. I'll do Flyers post game this Thursday. So wherever I can stay busy, man. I love it all.
And last thing that I'm going to put in there, because I am a terrible person, and this is how you get fired on your day off, JP. I forgot to tell the people. I'm going to cut this and put this in the middle of the show so that they know. But we have a sponsor. Yeah. I'm so used to not having a sponsor.
First time.
I didn't do it.
1 in 5.
Okay.
And, so I
better late than never. I love it.
Look. Hold on, wait. Let me get myself together. I'm laughing so hard about myself because I am a moron, and sometimes I make fun of other people.
Need some type of lead in or something.
And then no. Because I'm going to edit this out. This is the magic for the people that are live. The people that are live. They don't care. They know that I'm a crazy.
I like when things are Philly tough.
Well, I want JP to know what this is too. So it's super fun. I'll bring it up here real quick on the screen. So this episode of Gritty Nights is brought to you by teamcalendar.com. Teamcalendar.com. Go there. All it is a a website where you click your favorite team. You don't have to put in an email address, your name, nothing. You can put in the playoffs, and it literally will put them all into your phone and a calendar. People ask all the time, what time are the Flyers playing? What time are the Sixers playing? What day? Who are they playing? This calendar is 100% free. You literally click the teams, you click the phone, or you click the calendar system you want, and it sends it to it propagates for the whole season.
Wow.
And that is one of the best things in America, people. It's 100% free. They're not asking you for anything. Where has you ever had another sponsor that ask you to put in a code, a cheat sheet, a dinosaur, your name, your phone number, your sister name, nothing? This, for a sports fan, is something that is useful and tangible. Know when every single game that you care about is going on and have it in your phone and your calendar. It's super simple. You click the team, you click the other team you like, and then you click where you want the calendar to go to. And boom, you've got every single freaking game, teamcalendar.com. I know I forgot, but it's worth it for you because it's freaking free. And if you love sports, go and do it. It's one of the best things I've done for myself, and I'm so happy to tell you about teamcalendar.com.
I think I'm going to do the same. I love that.
Yeah, JP, get on it. When I look at your phone next time, JP, I better see propagation, brother. I better see full propagation.
I already use it.
Yes, Jason.
You got it.
I'm going to add a podcast tab with ours, just our podcast.
that might renegotiate the money end of the negotiation. If I put my
I can hope, right? I can hope.
Okay.
Wait, you guys are getting paid for this?
Jason, thank you again for watching the show. JP's links are going to be put in the description on all the podcasts everywhere where you can go find Gritty Nights. We appreciate you. And if you want to send me 50 cents, I'll give it to Jason. I'll make sure, but he's not getting paid today. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye. Take a look.
Yes,
Thank you, JP.
Appreciate you having me, guys. That was a lot of fun.
Super fun, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you.